why are you lot so afraid of casting a young dark-skinned woman? Can we talk about that? No time. Thank you, next instrumental. No, we have to. Okay, like, sorry, sometimes it's not all think pieces. Sometimes I just want to watch a show and binge it and enjoy it. I burn for you. It was so... God, me and who? Okay, bye guys. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Agape, like the love. If you're new here, then welcome. It's a safe space. But if you're not new, then thank you so much for coming back. Today's video is so... oh my goodness, it's so exciting. Today's video I'm going to be talking about Bridgerton. I watched the show this morning. Like, I watched this show last night going into this morning, so all of this is like fresh in my memory, and so I'm so excited to talk about the show, to talk about not only the good, not only the excellent, but the downright what happened here. And yeah, I'm so excited. So if you want to carry on watching, I think you should. Let's go. But before we even begin, like this video, drop a comment down below from where you're watching from, your favorite character, your favorite scene, your favorite episode. There was so much that happened. Actually, tell me what your favorite rendition of a pop song, your favorite classical rendition of a pop song was. Please tell me, of like from the show. I did a Gilmore Girls reaction. I'm gonna put the card up here. But yeah, I'm still new to it, so I'm gonna try something a bit different. I'm going to be talking about the show, the good, the bad, the oh my goodness, but I'm going to be sort of telling it. I think this is the best way to go forward, because sometimes you start off with a bad, and yes, there's a lot of bad. You start off with a bad, but then it gets so overwhelmed by like halfway. If you get to half of my video, you're like, damn, like I don't know if I want to watch the show. But I'm gonna do half so you guys can see and you can weigh for yourself, like, oh, I see, instead of having to get 8 minutes into the video to be like, let me talk about the good things. Like, I'm gonna do it 50-50. So let me know if you like this type of style of like setting it up, because I thought about it like as I was taking a shower. I was like, let me try something different. So let's go. So guys, I am going to start off with the good, because when I tell you the show, it was guys, when I was watching the show, I was on episode 1 and I was live tweeting as I watched. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. I was live tweeting while I was watching the show, and I was doing a thread, and I was like, I tweeted so many things, and then I realized, wait, this is episode 1. Like, so much happened in the space of like an hour, in the space of just one episode. I was like, no guys, this is actually incredible. Sometimes I can't take myself seriously at this point. The first bad thing, guys, can we talk about that? Thank you, next instrumental. No, we have to. No guys, this is just a joke. This isn't the major point, but like, I was like, what? I was like, no, let's fast forward, like, not fast forward, let's go back a bit. Did I hear that correct? I literally had to be like, let me move my bang so I can see that correctly. And I was like, child, can I just hear that again? I was like, is this really happening? Like, I'm literally tearing up at the thought of it. I was like, is this really happening, you guys? I just thought that was hilarious. I wasn't actually, towards the end, I started like getting used to it, and I was like, oh, this is the song. I was like, I wasn't mad at the In My Blood rendition. I was not mad at it. I did a video talking about Shawn Mendes and the Wonder album. I'll put a card there. I wasn't mad at it. The Wildest Dreams one, where they were on their honeymoon. I love that. I love that. I'm saying that I'm putting on the side of bad things, but I like that. guys, I really like that. So towards the end, I was like, okay, I sort of like warmed up to this, but at the beginning I was like, come on now guys, I know we want to modernize this, but we're pushing it. Thing about me, I am a sucker. I'm a sucker for romance. Like, I am a sucker for something that will give you chills, something where your heart will beat a little bit faster. Like, I am a sucker for all things romance, and so this, like, it was that and beyond. If you like romance, I'm using my phone just to find the tweet, guys, but if you like romance, then this show is what is for you. if you like romance, guys, this show is for you. Like, I'm not even joking. Romance, romance, romance. There were so many quotes from this. I was just like, God, me and who win? Like, I was like, God, do you see me? There were so many quotes from the show, and I was like, God, I'm out here, like, me and who win? Me and who? There were so many quotes that I was just like, what do you mean? Like, one of the quotes where it was like, I burn for you, or when they were discussing like the painting and they were talking about how it was intimate, I was just like, leave now, I am done, get out of here. Even the I love all of you, even the parts that you believe are too dark or too shameful, I was like,
I love all of you, even the parts that you believe are too dark.
Please, the door's there, I'm single, bye. Like, the romance, when I tell you guys there was romance, I mean there was romance galore. And after such a hard year that we've all had, like, you know, you just want a steppy romance. Like, I'm gonna talk about the more hard-hitting topics, about why, like, the show could have been much better in certain aspects, talking about colorism, featureism, like a bit of messy things that happened. But sometimes, even like as a viewer of color, I just want a good show. Even though it wasn't love at first sight, we found something greater than that. We found friendship. I was like, bye, bye.
My part. We found friendship.
First thing I do want to tackle, oh my goodness, Netflix. I know it's a Shonda Rhimes like company production, but it's like, why are you lot so afraid of casting a young dark-skinned woman? No, tell me. No, genuinely, I want to know. And I said young, right? I said young because we know there's Lady Dunbury's there, but I'm just like, I exist too. Like, what? If it's not colorism, there's gonna be another issue, but I feel like that is something that like keeps coming up, because I feel like they wanted, it's always these interracial couples, but it's like very white adjacent. And this is nothing about the Duke of Hastings, because my man, I'm free on Thursday. He's so good looking, guys. Like, let's not lie about that. Let's not lie. He's so good looking, and it doesn't take away from how incredible he is and the role that because come on now, he freaking ate that up and left no crumbs. Look at how he bodied that, ate it up, and what gave it back. Like, it was so good, right? But Netflix has this really detachment, and I blame Netflix because it's just Netflix, they streamed it on Netflix, right? But just of casting a dark-skinned black, it's difficult. Child, the same I'm like, you could have you see, I was about to say the seamstress could have been, but then it's like the weird, it's always, when you do cast black people, you have to be intentional. That's my thing. Like, you have to not only want to cast them for because they did incredible jobs and they did incredible roles, right? But when you cast them, you have to be intentional about it. My second good thing about this show, right, the steamy scenes, right? I'm saying steamy scenes, y'all. I'm a Christian, I'm a good Christian girl waiting till marriage, right? But the steamy scenes, something about them, it was purposeful. So I do suggest, like, if you don't want to watch those scenes, fast forward. Somebody had warned me about them, so when I could fast forward, I was like, okay, this is a bit long, hey, let's fast forward. But like, the scenes were purposeful. I feel like we get a lot of those scenes in TV shows and in movies, and sometimes I saw a tweet, somebody said that like those type of scenes, a lot of the time they don't really like aid to the show. Like, they don't really aid to a movie or to a show. It's just there for there. But I think in this instance, because such a big part of the show was Daphne's like womanhood and coming into herself, and there were so many metaphors with like the flowers and Simon giving Daphne a flower, and then when it was raining with the flowers, like that like purity type of thing, because that was such a main theme in the show, it made sense for them to to go into either detail or to prolong those scenes, right? And so I feel like I can say that I like that it was purposeful. It wasn't just there for there. Maybe you might not like montages, but like I thought that they did a good job in the execution of how like it was meaningful. I was like, okay, I can see this. Maybe this is a bit much. Let's fast forward, but like it's meaningful. And so that was number 2. But it adds on to, guys, it was the romance. Ugh, let's not. My second bad point, I was talking about how like casting people being intentional, right? And so something that comes up, so if we talk about colorism, but then we can also talk about featureism and how we have actors. As I said, this doesn't go away from Marina's role or Simon's role or the actors that play them, right? I thought they did phenomenal, beautiful jobs, but it is one of those things where it's like, okay, if we're going to get somebody who is we're gonna get someone who's black, we're gonna get someone who's someone of color, but we're gonna go for we're gonna go for someone who has a proximity to whiteness. I'll just say it like that. And so we have featureism that does come into place, like when we do have someone that's black. I don't want to have to say Eurocentric standards of beauty. I'm so sick of that. But you'll get somebody who is more palatable, and so that's something that is an ongoing thing that always happens. Like, free my people, guys. We have to be free from that. And Netflix keep doing it, and I'm gonna keep complaining about it. Netflix, I'm gonna keep making YouTube videos about it as long as you guys keep doing that. It was just, yeah, think of something else, please. Third good thing, guys, my third good thing is that it was giving me Hamilton vibes. Like, and this point is, I'm going to talk about the good with this point, and I'm going to talk about the bad side of this point, but in the sense where if this show was full on just white characters, I don't think I would have watched it. I might have watched it had I heard about, like, the thing is, I'm not a fan of period pieces in general. Like, I tend to like stray away. Like, I might like Pride and Prejudice or stuff like that, like maybe the classics, but if it was a full on like all white cast, 1800s, like maybe somebody would have tried to like convince me to watch it, right? But I wouldn't have watched it like straight away in a day had it only been a white cast. The reason why I say it gives me Hamilton-esque is, like, with me, like, I love Hamilton. I'm gonna try and insert clips of me just singing to Hamilton.
When the history book mentions me, I will lay down my life if it sets us free. Eventually you'll see my ascent. Give it up for America's favorite fighting president.
Like, I love Hamilton, but the thing that I loved about Hamilton was this idea of, like, not even rewriting history, but just having black and brown faces, like, in these roles. So I was able to, like, not even relate, but just picture myself in those situations. That's what I like. That's the affordability and that I like, because I don't think I would have watched it. And the show is incredibly successful. It's only been out for a week and a bit, but like, it's incredibly successful because people of different race, ethnicity, I was spotting there, like, it opened that up to see, like, wow, like, you wouldn't see us in these roles. And so that's the thing that I liked about it, is even so that you could get an audience. Number one, you could see an audience, and number two, it could be like received well, and we didn't have to have a piece about like trauma, or there were just these characters just because, like, child, we can be in fiction, like, we can just imagine like this could have been the case, right? Even though we know it's not. And I'll talk about the bad side of that when we get there, which is now. But yeah, guys, that's what gave me the, like, Hamilton-esque. If you've seen Hamilton, Hamilton, pause this video right now and comment like your favorite Hamilton song, just for the bands. But yeah, that's where I get with that one, if you guys understand. Yeah. So my third point was, it's giving Hamilton, and in the same way it was giving Hamilton with regards to casting black people in these movies, right, and in these shows and in these roles and stuff. It's giving Hamilton in the same way that it doesn't address race. So one could say that's good. That's just like acting like it was just like you're just acting like everything's normal, right? But when you, as I said, like when you cast black people in these roles that would have originally been for white people, and you don't say anything about it, it's sort of also, it does like two things. So one thing is like, okay, this is normal, but it's such a big step that you want to say something, you want to mention something. Maybe they did that strategically, but like just the non-mention of race as if it wasn't, if it wasn't a thing, like, I don't know, you see, because on the good side it's like, yes, people watch it, but it's like if you ignore that as a factor and you don't even tap into it or really like, I know the Duke of Hastings, the father, he was like, oh, we've been granted, we've been given this role, but it wasn't, we just had like this allusion to something, like it was just alluding to that. But one, on the other hand, one can argue that it's like you want these roles to be, you want a black person to be a duke without having to explain the lineage of why he was a duke. So I understand, like, that's why this point can go on either side. It can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. That's why I was like, because it could be a thing where it's like you just have these black characters and them being black isn't the story. Like, that is, in an ideal world, that's perfect. But when you deal with period pieces and you deal with like historical things, like fictional characters, but like in historical landmarks and in England and all of this, and you make this like the precedent and you don't say anything, like, give me a little something, like give me a little, and you can say it in interviews and stuff, but like, you see what I mean, like, just give me a little, just give me a little. The fourth thing that I absolutely loved about the show is actually Eloise's character, and I thought that her character was, first of all, the cheeky, the detective, the girl that the person that didn't want to conform to society's standards, and she was just pushing past that. One of my favorite quotes by her, let me actually find it. She's looking at a painting and she's like, this painting was done by a man who sees a woman as a decorative object. And another one is when she's talking about the seamstress and she's like, we should aspire to be like her, unmarried, earning our own money. So it's just like in such a time that was infused by the patriarchy, because you always have to think of context when you're watching these things, right? In a time when her sister was literally like, the main show is like her sister about, child, we need to get you married. So like the juxtaposition of those two characters and their sisters, and it's like lighter hair, darker hair, like the sheer contrast between the two sisters and the ideologies and what they're doing as they're going about the show, I really enjoyed that and I really like that, and I'm glad that they pushed that narrative forward, that yes, this is a show about like this girl, and in this context of the show, she was trying to find her man, and trying to get married off, right? But there was still someone who was just ambitious, and she liked reading and she was jotting things down, and so I really liked that character. It pushed a lot of narratives. It was very witty. I really loved Eloise's character. So that's something that I thought that was really good, that was really well done, guys. Fourth/fifth thing is just like the subtleties with race that we do have. So like, for example, with Marina's character, there was this suspicion that came with her, this, like, you know, how do I even say it? This promiscuous, this connotation, that's why I say when you add these black characters, you have to like think like, what are the connotations that we're trying to get. And one can be like, oh, it's a bit too deep. If you think I'm just deeping this, pause and comment, tell me if you think I am. But like with Marina's character, for example, the scene that like kind of bothered me was when they were talking about when someone was coming to the house, right? And they were like, yeah, show me your teeth. Like, maybe that was a thing of like sign of wealth or whatever, but like back in like the day, like I'm saying back in the day as if it was a long time ago, but like in times of slavery, they would use African American teeth to make white dentures. And so the man, he was like, oh yeah, I just got this pair, and then he was like, yeah, show me your teeth. And Maria was like, what? And she eventually smiled, but it was like, yeah, I didn't feel so good about that. Like, I didn't feel so good about that. You see what I mean? Yeah, I wasn't a fan. my fifth thing, guys, this is just me personally. Guys, another good thing, this is just for me personally. Sometimes I just want to have a good comfort show, hey? Like, sorry, sometimes it's not all think pieces. Sometimes I just want to watch a show and binge it and enjoy it and be like, wow, I really enjoyed that show. Like, oh, I just enjoyed it. And then later the thoughts can come to me like boom, 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 boom about all these different things. But as of right now, let me just bask in this show. Let me just have escapism. Let me just enjoy this. And then later we can tackle all these things. And I really thought it was really nice show for the escapism. Though, like, the romantic gestures in the show were absolutely beautiful. And I thought it was a really nice, like, comfort show. Like, I might just rewatch it. Not now though, but like I might just rewatch it. Like, I say not now, but that might be a lie. I might just rewatch it. And something else, people, I didn't really see this, but I just saw, like, I heard things about it in terms of making Daphne's character look a bit younger, but I feel like contextually, like, I think as the show progressed, I could actually feel her age with her maturity, blah blah blah. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but it's like I didn't actually think of her as being like this young character. And I think that's, maybe it comes in with, like, not just womanhood, but like not even femininity, but like, I don't want to say white fragility. I feel like that's a big, it's not that. I just mean like that innocence of, like, she's a pure, the whole like tie that we have with virginity. And like, that's why I feel like maybe people thought that she looked younger, and people were like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that relationship. But we know in, like, the olden days, even though it wasn't right, but like, I feel like she could have been 18, she could have been 18, like, she was just young in her immaturity and her sense of, like, she was really shielded and guarded. Because you would say, like, Eloise was a younger sister, but Eloise didn't seem like a 14, 15. She seemed like 16 vibe, on the cusp, right? And so I would say her older sister, I would say Daphne, would be like 18, 19, that vibe. And so I didn't really, I don't know, I didn't really see that as like a major issue, but people said she looked like she was presenting to be like younger. I really didn't see that as the case. I thought she was just naive, and that maybe tied into making her seem younger just with the inexperience. Oh, I don't know what that was. Let me drink some water. Just with, like, the inexperience that she had, I could see how one would view that as, like, oh, like, super young. But also I was gonna say, you know Netflix, they love a good interracial relationship, eh? Like, that's one thing. That's Netflix love a good interracial relationship. Like, they just eat it up. They're like, you know what, they're in the writer's room and they're like, yeah, look at our body this. Come on now, what? I was just mad. But either way, I think I would have been mad, like, I don't know. So yeah, this isn't the channel where I'm gonna talk to you guys about how there was bad, like, the costume directing was all over the place. That's not me. I'm just going to talk about the things that pertain to me and pertain to young people. And so, yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you got it up to here, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you haven't, and please subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content. This was such a fun, I'm literally in tears, guys. I'm still thinking about the thank you next rendition. Like, it's actually killing me. But this is such a fun video to do. And if you guys want me to react to other shows or other TV, like other series or limited series or movies or things like that, and maybe talk about it, discuss it, then don't be afraid to comment down below and tell me if you think the good outweighs the bad or the bad outweighs the good, like which one. I just thought it was a really good piece of TV. I thought I could say it was excellent. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I think it was excellent. I'm going to definitely rewatch that again. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye. I burn for you. No, guys, what was that? It was so God, me and who? Okay, bye guys.